Hey bookworms, and welcome back to Tristan's Turn the Page, your one-step shop for all things bookish. Today we have two excellent books with us: A Valley of the Birdtail by Andrew Stobo Sinderman and Douglas Sanderson, and How to Pronounce Knife by S. Tabawangsa. So grab a coffee, get cozy, and let's dive in one page at a time. Our first book is How to Pronounce Knife by S. Tabawangsa, winner of various prestigious awards, including the 2020 Scotiabank Giller Prize. Inside, we will look at Chikichi, a fictional story about two young siblings who stay home alone after school because their parents work long hours. This unique take captures the child's perspective, highlighting the fear and excitement as they're taught never to answer the door and to hide from potential dangers. It explores the strange blend of emotions they experience during unexpected events. The author skillfully uses setting to enhance the story's emotional depth. It opens in a low to mid-class apartment complex, highlighting the character's struggles with quotes like, "Dad drove us all out to a neighborhood we wish we could live in, with wide open roads and big Victorian homes. This ordinary home becomes a microcosm for the large anxieties." I mean the apartment. As the setting shifts in the suburb, it conveys familiarity and safety, but also vulnerability. The quote, "I paid attention to things people left outside. No one was ever afraid someone would take their stuff," on page 77, illustrates the contrast between the apartment and the big suburb. The point of view through the eyes of the 7-year-old brother amplifies feelings of fear and vulnerability as the child views the world with heightened imagination. When hearing knocks on the door in the old home, the children were terrified. "Someone came to our door and banged on it loudly, yelling, 'Open the door! I have a knife!' on page 76. In contrast, knocks in the higher class neighborhood evoke less fear despite similar situations. The setting deepens the story's emotional depth and impact, emphasizing the power of childhood imagination. In an interview with Samkang Tabawangsa, she says that the child's imagination transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, turning a simple knock on the door into a potential threat. The author also does a really good job with symbolism. For example, Chikichi, which replaces the traditional trick-or-treat, is central to the story and emphasizes themes of misunderstanding, societal exclusion, and identity. This is demonstrated in page 78, where it says, "Dad parked the car and told us all to walk from house to house dressed like this and yell, 'Chikichi!' The narrator describes the discomfort of being mocked or misunderstood when they were using the phrase in the presence of other children. Despite the ridicule, Chikichi becomes a defining feature of their participation in the Halloween tradition. Chikichi symbolizes the family struggle to fit into society that views them as other due to financial status and unfamiliarity with cultural traditions. Their misinterpretation of the Halloween phrase highlights cultural gaps and socioeconomic marginalization. This illustrates how poverty can alienate individuals from societal norms, even during celebrations like Halloween. The phrase also reflects the family's resourcefulness, especially seen in the father's creative costume designs efforts. An excerpt shows the annual participation. For example, here, it says, "After that, in October of every year, our parents took us all out to Chikichi until my brother turned 9, on page 78. This underscores the themes of societal exclusion and resilience amid misunderstandings within their community. Well, guys, this concludes our first book, bringing us to our second book, Valley of the Birdtail by Andrew Stobo Sinderman and Douglas Sanderson. I think it's an incredible book, being a winner or finalist of 12 renowned awards in literacy distinguishment. Chapter 15, titled Dear Diary, features Maureen, a young Indigenous person reflecting on her mother's Linda's past and the challenges of an indifferent world. The diary entries explore grief, identity, and memory, showcasing Maureen's vulnerability and resilience as she finds a solace in nature. The narrative builds credibility by authentically showcasing Maureen's life, reflecting the broader Indigenous realities like the trauma from residential schools. This is evident when her mother Linda shares the past pain while sobering up on page 19, highlighting the intergenerational trauma she has faced. Maureen's resilience is portrayed through her achievements like writing to Say magazine or building a hope chest in grade 7, emphasizing her identity as a proud Anishinaabe youth within real historical context. The authors effectively integrate Maureen's story within a larger historical framework, blending emotional authenticity with factual accuracy. Her challenges alongside her mother's residential school experiences are set against the systematic issues facing Indigenous communities. Specific details like her creative outlets ensure that the narrative feels authentic and respectful. The blend of historical insight and emotional depth enhances the narrative's credibility, allowing the readers to emphasize with Marine's journey while recognizing the systematic barriers around her. The narrative evokes a powerful emotional response through vivid depictions of Marine's struggles with isolation, loss, and self-harm. The hope chest scene adds poignancy as Marine destroys her diaries in an attempt to move forward. She cherished the rare wave of relief as she watched the ashes, page 25 to 26. This act is both cathartic but also heartbreaking, as it is reflecting her struggle to let go of her painful past. The authors use these emotional moments to reveal Marine's inner world, allowing readers to emphasize deeply with her struggles. Her actions, like cutting herself when she was alone on page 24 and burning her diaries, speak to a profound sense of loss and longing, rooted in her disconnection with her heritage, her family's unresolved trauma, and her own search for identity. By presenting Marine's experiences with such emotional intensity, the authors compel readers to confront the human cost of systematic injustice, preparing them to engage with the broader historical and sociological context. Lastly, the narrative links Marine's personal experiences to systematic issues affecting Indigenous communities, notably the impact of residential schools. For example, Linda's behavior reflects the intergenerational trauma. Linda would wobble in and sit on Marine's bed, crying and muttering about the times that she had been humiliated or abused in residential schools as a girl, on page 19. In contrast, Marine's submission to Say Magazine shows how self-expressionism empowers Indigenous youth, on page 26. By connecting Marine's story to historical realities, the narrative highlights the lasting effects of colonial policies. Linda's trauma and Marine's challenges illustrate how systematic inequalities perpetuate harm. However, Marine's experiences also reveal the potential for positive change when Indigenous voices are amplified. The logical ties between Marine's experiences and historical context enhance understanding of systematic injustices, creating a narrative that is both emotionally and intellectually engaging. I think both books are brilliant in their own ways, but I choose Valley of the Bird Tail personally, just because I think it has a really profound exploration of systematic issues and intergenerational resilience. It's deeply thought-provoking, but that being said, Chikichi also captures a heartfelt, intimate snapshot of childhood that I think stays with you long after you read the book. But choose what's best for you. That's all, bookworms. Go forth, conquer the written world, and until next time, happy reading, or at least, happy listening. This is Tristan, logging out.